Let me begin by telling you a story. Meet Dave. Dave is 29 years old and he's just a regular human being who enjoys hanging out with his friends. His favourite thing in the whole world is going to the footy when his team is playing. And Dave, like most people, spends a fair amount of time online, whether it's on his computer or on his smartphone. He uses his laptop every day to check his email and to do his banking. When it comes to researching a topic, Reddit is his go-to, and he loves talking to his mates on the group chat on Facebook Messenger. Dave even met his girlfriend on the apps. Dave is just a regular person like you and me. But here's the thing, Dave is also a perfect victim, and he doesn't even know it. You see, Dave is also the type of guy who reuses the same password everywhere that needs one. Now, he doesn't use the word password or the phrase password123 with the capital P. He's not that bad. But he does use the same password for his email, his online banking, and for every single social media app he has. Now, sure, Dave's password could be way worse. It's over 9 characters long with at least one capital letter, one number, and a special character. That's what he was told to use back in the day, and it used to be enough, right? But not anymore. Cyber criminals have gotten smart. Real smart. And poor old Dave is about to find out what happens when you reuse the same password for the most important websites and apps in your life. Like the websites where you access your money and the apps where your most sensitive, personal, private information is stored. You see, poor old Dave is about to get hacked. In 2025, researchers at Cybernews discovered a series of datasets containing login data. Some of these datasets had a few million records, and others had up to 3.5 billion records. Altogether, these datasets contained a whopping 16 billion records. What makes this even worse is that the datasets didn't just contain passwords, they also contained the email address that the password belonged to. At this point, you might be wondering how on earth these datasets even came to exist. They exist because of a specific type of malicious software known as an information stealer, otherwise known as an info stealer. An info stealer is malicious software, or malware for short, that quietly gathers sensitive information like emails and passwords from browsers, apps, and anywhere else you can think of. Once the information has been stolen, it's sent to a cybercriminal who's free to do whatever they like with it, like steal your identity even. And you won't know it's even happening until it's too late, just like Dave. So now you're thinking, how can I stop this from happening to me? I don't want to end up like Dave. And here's the thing, there are things you can do to protect yourself online and keep your personal information safe. Here are 3 easy steps you can take to improve your password hygiene and stop cybercriminals from stealing your stuff. Step 1. Never ever use the same password for different websites and apps. Whenever you reuse a password, you increase your risk of identity theft if those passwords are ever compromised in a data breach. In the case of the datasets with 16 billion records, not only did those records include a complete set of login details for cybercriminals to use, they also contained login details for giant companies like Apple, Google, and Facebook. You know, the websites and apps where your most sensitive, personal, private information is stored. Step 2. Use a passphrase instead. These days, modern cybercriminals use automated software programs that can guess short or common passwords in mere seconds. That's why security experts now recommend using long passphrases instead of traditional passwords. A secure passphrase is usually a collection of 4 or more words that make sense to you but wouldn't make sense to someone else. Ideally, they would be completely random words, but you can use song lyrics if you want. Just don't use anything that might be a security question. Step 3. Set up multi-factor authentication, otherwise known as MFA. The way MFA works is that you still log in with your email address or phone number along with your password. But there's an additional step of verifying your identity that usually requires something like a smartphone or an authenticator app. Basically, if you have MFA set up, it is way harder for cybercriminals to hack into your accounts to either steal your identity or all of your money. Okay, now it's time for a quick pop quiz to test your knowledge on password hygiene. Question 1. Why is reusing a single password across multiple websites such a terrible idea? Question 2. How can you make a passphrase for yourself? Question 3. How does multi-factor authentication actually work? Remember, the weakest link in your digital life is probably you. But with these 3 tips, you can make sure your private information stays private. Stay safe out there and see you next time.